Jake Riley, a man who sculpted chaos into perfection, owned Gotham Auto, the city's top shop. He was a master mechanic, capable of dissecting an engine and rebuilding it better than factory new. His life was a symphony of precision, a finely tuned machine, until tonight. He expected a quiet dinner, another Friday night ritual with Patty, his wife. Instead, silence greeted him, then her, posed before the mirror, draped in black lace, preparing for a night that wasn't for him. "Staying in tonight?" she stated, voice flat, almost bored. Little did she know, if Jake excelled at anything beyond engines, it was dissecting betrayal. Now, it was his turn to rewrite the rules. They thought they could break him? Dead wrong. Jake Riley wiped a grease-stained rag across his hands, eyes locked on the Mercedes that had consumed his afternoon. Rebuilding the transmission had been a meticulous ballet, demanding the kind of precision that had cemented his reputation as the city's most reliable mechanic. "Looks flawless, boss," Eli Barton remarked, leaning in to inspect the finished job. The younger mechanic, Jake's shadow, absorbed knowledge like a sponge. "Next level work." Jake nodded, satisfaction a quiet hum. He ran a hand over the reassembled parts one last time. "Excellence isn't luck, Eli. It's a habit." Glance at his watch. 5:30 p.m. "Mind locking up? Dinner date with Patty." Eli grinned, gathering tools. "Go on, get out of here. I got it covered." Jake clapped his shoulder, grabbed his leather jacket from the office, and headed for his midnight blue BMW M5. Like everything in his life, the car was a mirror of his obsession with precision and performance. He'd built his business from the ground up, starting with a cramped 2-bay garage and a toolbox of well-worn tools. 15 years later, Gotham Auto was the city's sanctuary for luxury vehicle repairs. The drive home was his decompression chamber, shifting gears from business owner to husband. Friday nights were sacred, a tradition unbroken since their first year together. 8 years of shared date nights, whispered dreams, building their future brick by brick. He pulled into the driveway as the last slivers of daylight cast long shadows across their brownstone in Brooklyn. The house, another monument to his grit and success. Bought it 3 years back, after landing contracts with high-end dealerships. But as he stepped through the front door, something felt off. The silence was a jarring chord. Usually, music or the TV's murmur would greet him as Patty prepped for their evening out. "Patty?" His voice echoed through the foyer, but no response. He climbed the stairs, each step deliberate, his mind sharpening. The master bedroom door was ajar, a soft glow spilling into the hallway. An unfamiliar scent drifted to him. Bold, expensive, unlike Patty's usual light perfumes. He pushed the door open slowly. What he saw seared itself into his memory. Patty stood before the full-length mirror, adjusting a black lace lingerie set he'd never seen before. Fabric whispered against her skin as she moved, dark hair flowing in perfect waves, makeup flawless, smoky eyes, crimson lips, meticulously applied. "Where are we going tonight?" Jake asked, the question hollow. Gut screaming this wasn't for him. Patty didn't turn, eyes glued to her reflection, fingers tracing her body, slow, deliberate, a performance, not preparation. Voice cold, distant, she spoke. "You're staying in tonight." She reached for a sleek black dress draped across the bed. "Not sure where the evening will take me, but I'll probably be back in the morning." Words hit like a physical blow. Jake froze, face unreadable, fists clenched, the only outward sign of the rage building. And what makes you think I'll let you get away with this? Voice low, controlled. Patty finally turned, and what he saw in her eyes chilled him. No guilt, no hesitation, no remorse, just a slow, calculating smirk. Because you always do. Jake stepped forward, imposing frame filling the doorway. Explain. Patty slipped the dress over her head, silk cascading like liquid shadows. It means you're predictable, Jake. Voice smooth, dismissive. You work your 60-hour weeks at that shop, come home smelling of grease, and think that's enough for me? She turned back to the mirror, adjusting her hair, practiced ease. A woman like you, words sharp as a blade. And what kind of woman is that exactly? She picked up a sleek clutch from the dresser, checked her lipstick in the mirror one last time. The kind who needs more than a mechanic can offer. As she moved past him, Jake's hand shot out, gripping her wrist, firm, controlled. Never one for violence, but restraint was the only thing holding back the storm inside. If you walk out that door tonight, Patty, there's no turning back. For an instant, a flicker of something vulnerable crossed her face, so faint, imagined even, gone before he could register it. Just as swiftly, the detached arrogance returned, the cold, untouchable defiance that had always been her armor. You say that like I'd ever want to come back. Effortlessly pulled her arm from his grip. Like this is some mistake I'll regret. It's not, Jake. Voice calm, unwavering, final. Heels clicked sharply on the wooden stairs, descending with practiced, deliberate grace. Jake didn't move. Mind racing. Years flashing before him, memories now stained, twisted by this new truth, this new reality. Front door clicking open, then shut, snapped him back. Window. Watched Patty step onto the curb. Sleek, black Aston Martin waited. Driver's door swung open. Man in an impeccably tailored suit emerged. From where Jake stood, he saw Patty melt into his embrace, head tilted, allowed him to kiss her. Rehearsed, perfectly executed. She wanted him to see this, wanted this image seared into his memory. Wife in lingerie he'd never seen, climbing into another man's car, night orchestrated for maximum cruelty. Not just betrayal, a statement, a performance, a final act to destroy what was left of their marriage, but instead of anger, sorrow, a strange calm washed over him. Turned away, walked to the bedroom, pulled an old duffel bag from the closet, packed clothes, methodical precision, movements slow, deliberate, not leaving for good. House was his, bought with his sweat, built from his work. But tonight, couldn't stay. Not in these walls, now stained with 8 years of lies. Packing, memories surged forward. Wedding day, Patty radiant in white, whispering vows of forever. Holidays, vacations, quiet Sunday mornings. How much real? How long plotting her exit, playing devoted wife, secretly preparing for this? Grabbed wallet, keys, walked out without looking back. BMW's engine roared to life. Sound once comfort, now just noise. Backed out of the driveway, leaving behind a house no longer home. Marriage an illusion, carefully constructed, expertly dismantled. City blurred as he drove, hands on the wheel, mind lost in the night's events. Traffic lights flickered red, green, casting strange shifting colors across his face, intersections mirroring the turmoil inside. Somehow, without thinking, industrial district, old building where he'd started Gotham Auto from nothing. Shop gone, replaced by a tire store. Jake slowed, staring at the place where he'd poured years of sweat, ambition, heart, building something real. And Patty? What had she been doing all that time? Him laying groundwork for this betrayal? Searching for someone who better suited her constantly shifting desires? Grip tightened on this wheel. Engine growled louder, urging him to escape ghosts of the past haunting his rearview mirror. Phone silent in the cup holder, but knew wouldn't stay that way. Patty's family would call, demanding answers. Friends would reach out, drawing lines, dividing the life they shared into fractured parts. Somewhere along the way, instincts guided him to Rita's diner, the 24-hour joint he and JC had frequented for years. Neon sign buzzed faintly, cold blue glow cutting through the night's shadows. Inside, booths, chrome fixtures, untouched by the wreckage of his life. Bell above the door jingled as he entered. Overnight waitress, Rita, working there since his teens, glanced up from her crossword puzzle. "Bit late for you, isn't it?" Reached for the coffee pot. "Usually only see you and JC after car meets or bike shows." Jake slid into his usual booth, vinyl seat creaking beneath him. Just one of those nights. Rita set steaming mug of coffee before him, offering a look only someone who'd witnessed countless late-night confessions, quiet heartbreaks could give. "Want to talk about it?" He shook his head. "Not yet." Pulled out his phone, scrolled through contacts, landed on JC's name. Thumb hovered over the call button. JC had been warning him about Patty for months, pointing out cracks in the facade Jake had been too blind, too proud to acknowledge. Rita nodded, refilling his cup. "I'll put a fresh pot on." Jake pressed dial, bracing himself for her response. As expected, answered by the second ring. "Bit late for a casual chat, isn't it?" dryly remarked. "She's been cheating on me," Jake stated, words foreign objects. Inadequate, too simple to describe Patty's calculated betrayal. Lingerie he'd never seen, rich guy's Aston Martin, tossed off promise she'd be back by morning. Silence stretched, thick, uncomfortable. Eternity later, JC spoke, voice seething, fury only true friend could muster. "That bitch! Where are you?" demanded. "Rita's! Give me 15, Jay." Call ended. Jake placed phone down, eyes lost in coffee's dark depths. Distorted reflection shifted in the liquid, barely noticed. Bell chimed as people filtered in and out, presence barely made impression. Mind already working, dissecting situation, precision reserved for mechanical problems. Methodically, piece by piece. True to her word, JC's custom bike rumbled into the quiet street 14 minutes later. Walked into the diner, leather riding gear, dark hair wild from the wind. Without word, slid into seat across from him, sharp eyes scanning him like surgeon, reading situation through lens of 2 decades friendship. "You're unusually calm for a guy whose wife just set his whole world on fire." Noting lack of visible reaction, Rita slid fresh coffee before Jake, unasked. Jake met JC's eyes, expression resolute. "She thinks she's won." JC's face hardened, known him long enough to see spark in his eyes, only appeared when someone crossed a line. "Then make sure she loses so badly she doesn't even recognize the wreckage," JC said, voice low, deadly serious. Rita returned, refilling Jake's cup. Neither acknowledged her. Jake's thoughts shifted gears, mind consumed with possibilities, calculating each move, cold precision of well-oiled machine. Guy she left with, black Aston Martin, newer model. Car has to be serviced somewhere. Barely looking up, JC leaned forward, elbows on table. Thinking what I'm thinking? Jake nodded slowly. Your shop handles most high-end cars in the city, right? Quick taps on his phone, pulled up management software for his business. And I keep detailed logs of every car comes through my shop. Fingers danced over screen, sifting through months of service records, each swipe closer to truth, exposing how deep betrayal ran. Suddenly stopped, grim smile curled at corners of his mouth. Gotcha. Who? JC asked, leaning forward, curiosity piqued. Aston Martin DBS Black, registered to Dan Wagner, hedge fund manager. Left his business card last time he brought it in. Jake scrolled through maintenance history, each detail clicking into place like puzzle falling together. Serviced regularly, every third Thursday, past 6 months. JC scoffed, lips curling in disgust. Let me guess, those were same nights Patty worked late at the office, right? Jake exhaled sharply, jaw tightening. Exactly. Placed phone on table, eyes hardening. This wasn't a fling. This was planned. They've been treating me like I'm some kind of fool. JC raised an eyebrow. So what's the plan? Jake took long sip of coffee, already mentally drafting blueprint of next steps. City's automotive scene tight-knit, web of mechanics, suppliers, clients, interwoven. Jake knew it better than anyone, each piece of information flowing like fuel through an engine. They want to play games? Fine, but they picked the wrong guy. JC's hand shot across the table, squeezing his arm in solidarity. Whatever you need, I'm in. He looked her in the eye, voice unwavering. And I'm going to need a lot. Next few hours blurred, frenzy of planning. Cups emptied, napkins filled with quick notes. JC's network and motorcycle world melded with his automotive contacts, complex map of potential leverage points, allies. By the time first hint of daylight crept over horizon, plan in place. You should head home, JC said, glancing at sky lightening with early morning. Be there when she walks in the door. Jake nodded, tossing generous wad of cash on table, enough to cover Bill, Rita healthy tip. Time to start the game. Drive home, moment of peace, steady thoughts. By time he pulled into driveway, raw fury settled into something colder. Precision. Patty made her move. Now his turn. First rays of daylight seeped into sky, painting horizon soft shades of pink, gray. New day arrived, promise of untapped possibilities. Jake eased car into driveway, eyes lingering on empty spot where soon sleek Aston Martin would pull in, delivering his wife from night designed to deceive him. Without hesitation, shower. Steam rising, washing away weight of previous night. Emerged dressed crisp button-down, dark jeans. Growl of engine signaled arrival. Bedroom window, watched black car stop at curb. Dan Wagner first out, suit worn from indulgence, creases speaking to night comfort, excess. Laid-back confidence, staked claim on something valuable. Practiced chivalry, walked around passenger side, opened door for Patty, extended hand. Kiss lingered longer than necessary, deliberate performance. Patty's eyes flicked upward, searching for confirmation audience in place. Eyes locked on his silhouette in window, subtle knowing smile tugged lips. Just as planned, all part of the act. Without flicker emotion, Jake turned, continued mourning. Any other Saturday. Sound front door creaking open, then shutting echoed through house. Listened, heels clicked on hardwood floor, cadence slower than night before. Reached bedroom door, stopped short. Clearly hadn't expected him there. Calm, collected, prepared for day. Makeup slightly smudged, hair no longer perfect. Black dress clung to her body, wrinkled, spoke volumes of night's events, stories Jake no interest imagining. "You're home early," she said, striving composure. Something in air shifted. Maybe anticipated broken, absent, consumed fury. But stillness, refusal react way expected, unnerved her. Jake grabbed keys from dresser, movements slow, deliberate. "No," he corrected, voice neutral. "I'm right on time." Moved past her, scent unfamiliar cologne lingering, brushing against him. Descended stairs, voice followed, tinged disbelief. "That's it? No shouting, no accusations, no desperate demand for the truth?" Jake stopped at door, glanced over shoulder. Top of staircase, fingers gripping banister. First cracks uncertainty breaking through carefully constructed facade. "Do you want me to scream, Patty?" Voice even. "Demand explanation? I already know you won't give honestly." Shook head, soft exhale. "We're well past that, don't you think?" Confusion flickered in her eyes. Moment felt strange victory. Ready for storm, scene rage, accusations, maybe violence. But indifference, refusal play along with drama, left her unmoved. "This isn't over," she called after him as he stepped out. "No," Jake replied, back to her, moving outside. "It's just beginning." Cold bite autumn wrapped around him as he walked to car. Behind him, bedroom door slamming shut rang out. Patty's first real show emotion since charade began. Small knowing smirk tugged Jake's lips. Thought she'd won. Shattering marriage. No idea what was coming next. Phone buzzed as he reversed out of driveway. Message from JC flashed on screen. "Game on." Jake's response immediate. "Game on." Drive to Gotham Auto. 15 minutes. Every second planning next steps. Shop wouldn't open to customers until Monday. 2 full days dig deeper, gather information needed. Files sift through. Contacts exploit, leads follow. By time he arrived, Eli already working in back bays, absorbed project car. Young mechanic looked up as Jake entered, sharp eyes noticing shift in boss's demeanor. "Everything okay, Eli?" asked, wiping hands on rag. Jake moved toward office, fingers waking up computer screen. "It will be." Gaze fixed on digital records, pulled up files needed. "I need everything we have on Dan Wagner's Aston Martin. Service history, invoices, contact details, last piece of data." Eli raised eyebrow, didn't ask further questions. Why Jake hired him. Kid knew when to speak, when stay silent. Minutes, stack folders landed neatly on Jake's desk. Every detail Wagner's dealings Gotham Auto. Leaning back, Jake flipped through records. Only beginning work lay ahead. Jake pored over data, keen gaze picking out trends others miss. Service bookings precise timetable. Same days every month, without fail. All payments, same corporate credit card. Addresses listed matched upscale office downtown, high-end home elite neighborhood. Phone buzzed. Another message from JC. "Got something on your wife's friend. Brunch at Rita's noon. Jake shot back a quick reply, confirming meeting. Leaned back, eyes scanning documents. Patty, lover careful covering tracks. Fatal error. Underestimated him. Thought him humble mechanic, predictable, harmless. Soon learn how wrong. Opened email, quick typed short message to attorney. Subject: divorce proceedings. Body brief, simple request. Urgent meeting, first thing Monday. Without hesitation, hit send. No point delaying inevitable. About close inbox, notification appeared. Service appointment. Wagner's Aston Martin, next Thursday. Slow grin spread across Jake's face. Every luxury car entered garage, more than service job. Opportunity. Each record, potential powerful asset. They wanted play games? Fine. Wrong opponent. Patty thought him grease-covered technician. Jake knew better. Not just mechanic. Strategist, businessman, now man verge getting revenge. Game just beginning. Monday morning sunlight streamed through windows Gotham Auto as Jake sat at desk, legal papers before him. Divorce documents, financial reports, property settlements, 8 years marriage reduced impersonal legal jargon, measured deliberate motions, signed each sheet. Everything checks out. How soon file? Lawyer Mike Bennett neatly gathered documents. By noon, but something else. Think you should see. Pulled out tablet, loaded financial report. Little digging Patty's brother, Dean. Questionable activity. Jake's attention sharpened. What kind? Large cash withdrawals from casinos, bigger deposits offshore accounts. Classic signs gambling debt. Jake's mind raced, connecting dots. How much? So far, over 200,000. Information more than valuable, stroke luck. Suspected Dean gambling issue, scale open new possibilities. Nodded thoughtfully. Thanks for heads up, Mike. Keep me posted on filing. Attorney left. Jake made call. Less than hour later, Dean Vance walked into garage, fake confidence barely concealing discomfort. Adjusted watch, probably knockoff, Jake surmised, given finances. Nice place, Dean commented, scanning clean, polished garage. First time here. Jake smirked. Funny, isn't it? 8 years marriage your sister, first visit. Dean shifted, uncomfortable. Yeah, well, you know how it is. Busy blowing money you don't have? Dean's face drained color. What the hell are you talking about? Jake gestured chair across from him. Sit down. Need talk your financial situation, how I might be able help. I don't need your help, Dean shot back. Hand moved to adjust watch again. Jake's voice steady. 200,000 in the hole says otherwise. And that's not even counting people you owe who don't send polite reminders when you miss payment. Dean's bravado collapsed, sank into chair, confidence evaporating. How do you... I have resources, Jake answered, leaning forward. Resources could help erase that debt, but you'll have to do something for me in return. Dean hesitated, unsure what kind of something. Jake slid folder across desk, contents carefully arranged. I need information on your sister, specifically her involvement with Dan Wagner. Dean's confusion immediate, response genuine surprise. Patty? What does she have to do with any of this? Don't pretend you don't know, Dean. Doesn't suit you. Jake's tone harsh, each word weighted meaning. Your sister's been involved with Wagner for months now. I need to know what she's up to. Dean's eyes darted around room, refusing meet Jake's gaze. I have no idea what you're talking about. muttered, trying sound convincing. Jake's face hardened. Really? Because your phone records tell different story? You've been in contact with both Patty and Wagner multiple times past few months. Slid printout across desk, tapping specific entry. Like this one, last Friday, right when Patty getting ready for her date. You can't prove anything, Dean muttered defensively, voice low. Jake remained unfazed. Don't need to prove anything to you. Need you understand situation you're in. Stood up, paced toward window, overlooking shop floor. As of now, you're involved with some very dangerous people. Turning back to Dean, voice steely. I'm offering you way out. All need to do is tell me what Patty's planning with Wagner. Dean stayed quiet long moment, mind working furiously. Finally spoke, almost whispering. She's planning leave you, not just divorce. Wants it all. House, business, everything. Jake raised eyebrow. And how she planned doing that? Wagner has connections, top law firms. Putting together case you've been hiding assets, underreporting business's income. Dean said, eyes never meeting Jake's. Focused on desk. Escape and surface. She's been gathering evidence for months. Jake's gaze sharpened. What kind of evidence? Dean's words spilled out. Bank statements, business records, pictures of you meeting clients off the books. She's got everything. Whole file on her laptop. Thinks she can prove you've been running side business. Modified racing cars. Dean's voice trailed off. Pained look crossed face. And you helped her get info. Jake's jaw clenched, stayed calm. Walked to desk, pulled out checkbook. Here's what's going happen, he said, pen moving deliberate precision. I'll give you $5,000, keep your creditors off your back for now. In exchange, you tell Patty you overheard me talking about moving money offshore before divorce papers filed. Dean looked up, disbelief. Why would I do that? Jake met his gaze, cold resolve. Because if you don't, every loan shark, bookie you owe will have detailed report on you, where you are, what you owe, everything. Finished writing check, slid it to Dean. And if you play your part, another $15,000 waiting you when this is over. Dean stared at check, expression unreadable. She's my sister. She's just using you, same way she uses everyone. Jake's voice sharp. Difference is, I'm upfront about intentions. I'll pay you what I promise. Can she say same? Long pause. Dean reached out slowly, fingers grazing check. What exactly you want me tell her? For next hour, Jake laid out exactly what Dean needed do. By time done, first phase Jake's plan in place. As Dean left room, pulled out phone, typed message. Phase 1 complete. Time meet other Mrs. Wagner. Reply came almost immediately. Already set. She'll be at Sapphire Lounge tonight, 8. Sounds like she's eager meet her husband's soon-to-be ex. Jake smiled, impressed how quickly things moving. Time meet Chloe Wagner, add her to puzzle. Sapphire Lounge, atop regal continental hotel, stunning city skyline views. Jake arrived 15 minutes early, tailored charcoal suit, conveyed authority without flashy. Maitre d' escorted him quiet corner table. Woman sat alone. Chloe Wagner, glass wine in hand, poised elegance someone belonged high society. Blonde hair styled flawlessly, designer dress fit like made for moment. Yet Jake saw slight tension. Fingers nervously tapped stem glass, betraying calm exterior. Mrs. Wagner, Jake greeted, approaching, tone polite, firm. Thank you for meeting me. Chloe looked up, sharp green eyes taking him in, precision-seasoned negotiator. "Mr. Riley, please, sit." Gestured chair across from her, faint smile tugging Corner's lips. "Let's skip formalities. At this point, might as well be on first-name basis." Server appeared, bottle wine, uncorked, ready. Jake caught subtle gesture, unspoken assertion power. "Your usual, Mr. Riley?" Server asked, pouring glass. Chloe raised eyebrow. "You've been here before?" Jake accepted glass, expression unreadable. "I frequent fine establishments from time to time." Exchange, though simple, revealed dynamics between them. Two sharp players sizing each other up, each word, action chosen carefully. Jake leaned back, savoring slow sip wine. "I run 3 high-end auto shops in the city," he said, tone relaxed. Air certainty. "It's where most of my clients prefer handle business." Chloe raised eyebrow, teasing grin. "Ah, the successful mechanic," she teased, voice quiet amusement. "That's how Dan likes refer to me," Jake answered, hint something dark flickering eyes. "Just mechanic who couldn't keep his wife satisfied." Chloe's smile faltered, face briefly hardening, regained composure. "And what about you, Jake?" she asked, voice sharp, controlled. "What's Dan been saying about you to his friends?" Question landed precision. Beneath calm exterior, tension palpable. Met his gaze, Jake didn't look away. "Touché," he said, voice soft. Glass settling on table, deliberate care. "Let's skip games. We both know why we're here." Chloe didn't respond right away, narrowing eyes, studying him. "Do we?" asked, leaning in slightly, voice lowering. "Your husband's sleeping with my wife. You want revenge. But why would I help you with that?" Jake slid phone from pocket, unlocked it. "Because," he said, flipping through files. "Dan's been planning to leave you for months. He's got escape plan. Offshore account you know nothing about." Chloe's grip on wineglass tightened, eyes narrowing, suspicion flared. "You're bluffing." Jake's face unyielding. "Account number 3445754456, he said, holding phone out. "National Bank. Over 5 million sitting in it." Chloe's color drained slightly, studying screen, silence, fingers flexing around glass. "Where'd he get that money?" Voice barely audible. "Skimming it from his hedge fund management fees?" Jake answered flatly. "How else think he's been living so comfortably? He's been hiding it from you for years." Chloe's gaze darkened. Disbelief, fury. "How do you know all of this?" Jake didn't hesitate. "I have my sources," he said plainly. "Same ones who can help you access that account if you're serious making Dan regret ever crossing me." Studied him long moment, calculating. Finally broke silence. "Why should I trust you?" "Because unlike your husband, my wife," Jake answered, tone unwavering. "I'm upfront with you about what I want." Eyes hardened. "I want Dan to lose everything. Wealth, status, reputation, all of it." Chloe's lips curled faint, icy smile. "And what do I get out of this?" Tone detached, tinged interest. Jake's smile slow, deliberate. "Half whatever's in that offshore account," he said, voice cool, and pleasure watching him unravel. "But more than that, you'll walk away with dignity intact. While Dan crumbles, you'll be one who maintained composure while he destroyed everything." Chloe's smile grew slightly, laced sharp calculation. "You've thought this through," she remarked. "I'm a businessman, Chloe," Jake said, voice measured. "Success doesn't happen accident. Strategy, precision, timing." Pulled piece paper from briefcase, slid it across table. "I also have proof Dan's been manipulating his fund's performance numbers," he added, gaze steady. "Proof could destroy him with investors, SEC." Chloe eyed him carefully, letting gravity sink in. "He always said you were just a mechanic," she murmured, voice reflective. "Simple, predictable, easy manage." Jake's eyes darkened, met her gaze. "That was their mistake," he replied, voice sharp. "They saw what they wanted see. Now they'll pay for it." Chloe took deep breath, processing. Reached into purse, pulled out small USB drive, placed on table. "Dan keeps personal laptop at home," she said, voice low, steady. "Copied his hard drive last week. Thought might come in handy." Jake picked up drive, inspecting, looked back at her. "This is big help. Thank you." "Don't thank me yet," Chloe said, tone icy. Finished wine in one fluid motion, set glass down. "If we're doing this, I want transparency. No surprises, no changes last minute. Need know exactly how this play out so can position myself accordingly." Jake smiled, glint understanding eyes. "Of course," he said, signaling waiter. "Another bottle, please. We've got plenty discuss." Next couple hours, laid out plan, analyzing every angle. Chloe proved just as sharp, strategic Jake hoped. Critical insights Dan's vulnerabilities. By time conversation ended, both clear on roles days to come. Stood leave. Chloe paused, hand lightly brushing Jake's arm. "One more thing," she said, voice quieter, conspiratorial. "Patty's been spending lot time at our house lately. Making plans for future with Dan. Mentioned gathering evidence, documents. Thinks will help her win everything in divorce." Jake smiled, subtle, knowing expression. "I know about documents," he said. "In fact, I'm counting on them." Chloe raised eyebrow. "You want her try use them against you?" Jake nodded slowly. "Sometimes best trap is one your enemy thinks they've set themselves." Chloe's lips curled small approving smile. "I underestimated you, Jake," she said. "Won't make that mistake again." Jake chuckled, low, amused. "Call me Jake," he said. "We're partners now, after all." Split outside bar, each heading respective cars. Jake slid behind wheel, started engine, dialing JC's number. "How'd it go?" she asked immediately. "Better than expected," he answered. "Chloe's in, brought us something useful. Dan's entire hard drive." "Nice. Want me dive into it tonight?" "No, rest up. Tomorrow we begin phase 3. Jake pulled into driveway, noticed Patty's car still absent. Time get financial pieces motion. "You sure about this next step?" JC's voice serious over phone. "Once we go down this path, there's no turning back. They left me no choice. When they decided play this game." Jake's voice ice cold, resolute. "Now it's my turn to set the rules." As first light day crept into Gotham Auto, Jake, JC side by side, poring over Dan's hard drive. Hours passed, piecing together crucial information. "Check this out," JC said, pointing screen. "Every single transfer offshore account goes through Shell Company, Maritime Ventures." "Can you track it?" Jake asked. "Already did." Clicked another file. "Company registered Cayman, but paper trail leads law firm handles most Wagner's business affairs." Jake absorbed details. "Perfect. Eli, are documents ready?" Eli entered, stack papers. "All set, boss. Transfer ownership for shop, backdated 6 months, like you asked, notarized, ready go." "Good work," Jake said, turned JC. You sure you're good with this? Being official owner Gotham Auto, on paper. JC flashed grin. Sweetheart, I've been waiting 8 years for this moment. I'm ready. Shop door chimed. Dean stepped inside, uneasy. Jake, I did what you asked. Told Patty I overheard you talking offshore transfers. She took bait, called Fagner right away. Wiped brow. They're meeting for lunch, discuss it. Perfect, Jake said, handing Dean envelope. Here's next installment, agreed. Dean took it, tucking jacket. Got it? Remember, Dean, Jake added. Keep feeding them info, but only what I tell you. I know, Dean replied, voice tinged nerves. Jake hesitated. Patty's starting to get suspicious. Keeps asking why I'm suddenly so helpful. Jake's tone hardened. Tell her you're worried about gambling debts coming light in divorce. Make her think you're one being manipulated, not other way around. Dean left. Eli spoke up. You think we can really trust him? Jake checked phone as buzzed. Message Chloe. Trust is irrelevant when you've got leverage, he replied, eyes screen. Besides, he's just piece puzzle. Message from Chloe read, Wagner took bait. Already called his banker. Transfer more funds offshore. Your move. Satisfied smile tugged Jake's lips. JC, it's time. Phase 3. Go. JC pulled out phone, dialed. Mr. Walker? JC Carter here. New owner Gotham Auto. Yes, that's right. Calling about Dan Wagner's account. Next hour, executed plan precision. JC made calls, clients, suppliers, business contacts, solidifying position new owner. Eli processed documents, carefully crafting trail suspicious transactions, feed into Patty's narrative hidden assets. Jake! Eli called, voice tense. Wagner's Aston Martin just pulled up. Jake straightened shirt, nodded. Right on schedule. Everyone, take your positions. Let's give them exactly what they're looking for. Dan Wagner strode into shop, swagger someone thought owned place. Tailored suit probably cost more than most people made month. Approached Jake, smug grin. Mr. Riley, Dan said, voice dripping false courtesy. I believe my car due for service. Mr. Wagner, Jake replied, tone cool, impeccably professional. Ownership has changed hands, I'm afraid. If you'd like, can speak with Miss Carter about your vehicle. Shift control. Dan's smirk slipped, confusion flickering. Since when? About 6 months back, Jake replied, gesturing JC approaching, holding tablet. Miss Carter is now in charge all client relations. JC stepped forward, air professionalism. Mr. Wagner, pleasure, she said smoothly. I see your Aston due for routine service, though there are some inconsistencies in your past service records. Inconsistencies? Dan's tone sharpened. Yes, JC confirmed, swiping tablet. Several unrecorded modifications done off books. We'll need bring everything up code, liability purposes, she added. Dan's face darkened, nodded stiffly. I need make call. Stepped outside. Jake exchanged brief knowing glance JC. Moments later, Jake's phone buzzed. Message from Chloe. Wagner just called Patty. Panic. They meeting at his office in an hour. Perfect, Jake muttered. Turned Eli. Time make delivery Wagner's office. Eli grabbed manila envelope desk, altered service records, proof illegal modifications. Remember, Jake said, hand them to his secretary, not directly to him. We want them think they stumbled upon this themselves. As Eli left, JC turned Jake. You realize they'll believe these records confirm everything Patty's been accusing, hidden assets, illicit modifications, right? That's exactly what I want them believe, Jake replied, watching through window as Dan drove off, once unflappable confidence now brittle. Best trap is one your enemy walks into willingly. By time they acted on this, offshore accounts wiped clean. Jake pulled out phone, dialed Chloe. Everything ready on your end? Just wrapped up with bank. Chloe's voice, calm, satisfaction. Moment Wagner tries access those accounts. Every red flag trigger. SEC notified automatically. And Patty's evidence? Jake asked. All stored on her laptop, just like you guessed. She's been working on it at my place. Try and keep it away from you. Pause before Chloe added. You sure you want her present, all this her lawyers? Absolutely, Jake said, voice cold, sure. Let her build her case. Let her believe she's winning. Higher they rise, harder they'll fall. Ended call. Jake walked through shop, technically JC's now. Lease name. Everything going plan. Dean feeding Patty information, Chloe monitoring Dan, Eli delivering evidence, JC managing business transition. All pieces motion. You know, JC said, joining him by window, they really should have checked ownership of the building before started playing this game. Jake smiled knowingly. Funny how many people overlook things when they're too busy looking down on the mechanic. How long until everything falls into place? Week, maybe 2, JC replied. Jake's gaze remained fixed as Eli's car turned corner, heading Wagner's office, documents. Just long enough for them think they've won. Then we take everything. Outside, sun sank lower, casting long shadows across shop floor. Jake knew somewhere Dan, Patty likely congratulating themselves. Another victory. Let them celebrate, Jake murmured himself. Let them scheme. Let them think they've outsmarted us. Their time is running out. 2 weeks later, Jake sat in office Gotham Auto, security feed Wagner's building laptop. Everything set, matter timing. Desk phone buzzed. Chloe Wagner's name, answered immediately. Is everything in place? Just as planned, Chloe replied. Dan left for his meeting this morning. Patty's on her way penthouse now. Thinks it's romantic getaway with him. And the accounts? Jake asked, voice calm. Drained, Chloe confirmed. Every last penny wiped out about an hour ago. For price $1 million, transferred web untraceable accounts. Chloe's tone satisfaction. By time Dan realized what occurred, money long gone. No chance retrieving it. Flawless. Jake's eyes flicked another screen, Patty's messages. Dean extracted from her phone during last family gathering. She's at the building. It's showtime, Chloe announced, quiet confidence. Don't worry about me, she added. I've been rehearsing for weeks. Jake shifted new camera feed. Patty stepped into private elevator, penthouse. New dress, likely his money, small overnight bag. Smile suggested certain victory. Expression wouldn't last long. Jake called out. Eli, any updates on SEC tip? Eli entered. Tablet. Tip just came through. Anonymous report suspicious trades Wagner's fund, backed by files from his hard drive. Investigation already underway. JC's at courthouse, submitting amended ownership papers for shop. Backdated, notarized, per instructions. Jake nodded. Focus screen. Patty exited elevator, adjusted hair, practicing smile thought seductive. Elevator doors slid open. Jake observed unfolding scene live. Patty's confident stride faltered entered room, not Dan, Chloe Wagner lounging pristine white leather sofa, sipping champagne. What the hell are you doing here? Patty's voice cut through audio feed. Chloe took deliberate sip, expression cool amusement. You honestly thought he was going leave me for you? Chloe's voice mockery. Darling, you're not even first one think that this year. Patty's words tumbled out, nervous. I don't know what you mean. Dan and you what? Chloe interrupted, standing gracefully, pouring champagne. You two running off together, living fairy tale, money thought you'd steal from your husband? Harsh, brittle laugh. How's that working out for you? Patty's phone buzzed, just planned. Might want check that, Chloe remarked nonchalantly. Could be important. Patty, hands trembling, fumbled phone. Screen flashed message from Jake. Eyes widened disbelief, opened banking app, saw balance. Blood-drained face. This isn't real, she whispered, voice unsteady. There's been a mistake. No mistake, Chloe corrected coldly, though I'm sure you'll find plenty more of those in your future. Chloe's smile never faltered. So, what's going rate for divorce lawyer these days? I'd say you're going need one. Before Patty could respond, penthouse door swung open violent force. Dan Wagner stormed in, usual calm shattered, pure fury. Face crimson, roared. Where the hell is my money? Advanced Patty, anger eyes. Patty, confused, backed away. What are you talking about? Don't play dumb with me, Dan snapped, rage. $4 million gone right after you accessed my accounts. Where is it? I didn't take anything. I didn't... Patty stammered, gaze darting Dan, Chloe, facade crumbling. I don't have access your accounts. No, Chloe interjected smoothly. But I do? Chloe smiled, widened, turning Dan, pure satisfaction. Isn't it amazing what you can do with power attorney? Consider missing funds part our divorce settlement, darling. Oh, and SEC going be very interested where that money came from first place. Mention SEC drained color Dan's face. Stuttered. What did you do to me? Chloe feigned innocence. I merely provided them documents they requested. Anonymous tip. Course. About suspicious trading. Client fund mishandling. Panicked. Dan grabbed phone, dialing. Desperation growing. This can't be happening. I have stopped this. Your account's already frozen, Chloe said, voice smooth, razor sharp. Investigation already in progress. All of it, quickly glanced Patty. You might want call your brother, she suggested. Seems like he's been bit too chatty with investigators about your role all of this. Dean? Patty's voice trembled. What does he have to do with any of this? Everything. Voice doorway interrupted. Jake walked into room, followed Eli, JC. Been waiting security room down hall, patiently waiting right moment step in. Hello, Patty. Greeted, voice smooth, unaffected. Rough day? Patty staggered back, shock. What is this? What's going on? This. Jake gestured lavish room. This is what happens when people underestimate me. They assume just because I'm a mechanic, I'm some kind fool. Dan, furious, moved toward Jake, fists clenched. So you're behind all of this? Behind what exactly? Jake responded, voice calm, controlled, betraying no emotion. SEC investigation into your shady accounting? Evidence your illicit trades? Sudden disappearance your exit fund? Jake's gaze turned Patty, cold as he noted her shock. Or maybe you're talking about complete transfer Gotham Auto to JC 6 months ago? Garage, he said simply. Patty stared disbelief. What are you talking about? JC stepped forward, folder hand. I own it all now. Garage, equipment, contracts. All legally transferred me months ago. Everything done above board, all documentation prove it. Gave Dan pointed look. Including modifications we made your cars under the table. You can't do this, Dan snarled, voice rising. I'll fight it. Chloe, unfazed, cut him off. With what money? Your account's frozen. Small smirk. We've already notified your investors about the investigation. And as for that offshore account you thought was your safety net, raised glass champagne, tone mocking. Let's just say I found much better use for it. Patty whipped head toward Dean, silently standing corner. Dean, tell them, she demanded. Tell them about evidence we uncovered about Jake's illegal activities. Dean wouldn't meet her gaze. About that, everything we found was planted. Modified cars, hidden cash, everything. Took breath. Jake gave us exactly what he wanted us find. You helped him? Patty's voice cracked, shock, hurt. You used me? Dean's voice cold, distant. You promised me money you didn't have, dragged me into your schemes. At least Jake was upfront about what he wanted. And what exactly do you want? Patty's tone snapped, composure faltering. Revenge? Is that what this is about? Jake shook head slowly. No, Patty. This isn't revenge. This is justice. Stepped closer, gaze steely, unwavering. You didn't just cheat on me. You tried to destroy everything I built. You, your lover, thought you could take my business, my reputation, my entire life. Deliberate step forward. So I gave you what you thought you wanted. I let you believe you were winning. You set us up, Dan hissed, voice low, furious. No, Jake corrected calmly. You set yourselves up. Every decision you made was your own. I simply made sure those choices had consequences. Eli, silently observing, moved entertainment system, tapped tablet. Room screens flickered life, security footage, text messages, emails, months damning evidence, Patty, Dan's conspiracy. Amazing what people say when they think no one's watching, Eli commented dryly. Glanced images flashing screens. All those meetings in your office, plotting how take down simple mechanic. Impressive work, smirk. Dan lunged phone. I'm calling my lawyer. Go ahead, Chloe replied, unbothered. But you might want wait until he finishes SEC investigators. They're at his office right now, going through all your firm's records. You're bluffing, Dan retorted, uncertainty voice now. Am I? Chloe asked, pulling out phone, showing news alert. Breaking news. Investigation underway at Wagner Capital Management. Smiled, satisfied disbelief spread across his face. Your name all over financial Twitter now. Patty collapsed onto couch, polished facade crumbling. This can't be happening, she whispered disbelief. Oh, but it is, Jake said coldly. All those things you tried take from me. They're gone. All of it. Every plan devised destroy him imploded. Everyone tried manipulate turned against her, standing firmly by Jake's side. I'll fight this, Patty muttered, voice lacked conviction. I'll find a way. Jake raised eyebrow. With what exactly? JC interjected, smile triumphant. Your accounts are emptied. Prenup you're so desperate break, it's watertight. And all that evidence you gathered? Well, turns out collecting proof your own crimes wasn't best idea. Dan's phone buzzed, face drained color, read message. Bored. They're calling emergency meeting. Probably vote no confidence regarding client withdrawals, Chloe observed. News travels fast this world. Nobody wants funds managed by someone under investigation by SEC. Dan whispered, voice despair. You've ruined me. Jake's response sharp. No, you ruined yourself. I just made sure I wouldn't go down with you. Room fell silent, reality settling in. Patty stared empty bank accounts. Dan scrolled news alerts. Elaborate schemes, Webb's deceit lay ruins. "So what now?" Patty asked, voice inaudible. Jake walked window, gazing city, fought hard dominate, turned back them, voice calm, heavy finality. "Now you get experience same fate you planned for me, starting over with nothing, no wealth, no reputation, no safety net." Paused moment, adding, "But here's difference. You deserve every bit of this." Eli's voice cut through tension. "Security's on way up." Checked tablet. Wagner's building access revoked. Unpaid penthouse fees. Chloe stood, adjusting purse. "Looks like it's time for me head out." Casual tone. "Dan, darling, expect legal papers from my lawyer tomorrow. Highly doubt you'll be able to afford fight." Pause door. Last glance back. "Oh, and staff's already packed your things. I'll make sure they're sent wherever you end up." Moments later, 2 security guards, sleek suits, appeared, faces unreadable, ushered Dan out penthouse. Tried protest, voice disbelief, status, wealth, none mattered. Name toxic, assets frozen, reputation tatters. Patty remained frozen couch, eyes fixed phone screen, desperately hoping bank account balance magically change. "I don't get it," she whispered. "How did you do all of this?" "Same way I built everything else," Jake replied, voice calm, confident. "Patience, precision, deep understanding how make pieces fit." Glance JC. "Show her, JC." JC tapped tablet, complex web transactions, documents. "Every time you thought you were collecting evidence on Jake," she explained, "you were actually documenting your own conspiracy. Those offshore accounts you found, we set them up. Cars you modified, all documented under shell companies you helped create." Pointed another section. "Hidden cash? All traces back accounts you," Dan established. "Dean," Patty's voice faltered, turned brother. "You said you overheard him talking about hiding assets." "I said what Jake told me say," Dean admitted, looking down, shame. "Just like I helped you, because you promised clear my gambling debts. Difference is, Jake actually kept his word." Eli checked phone again. "Boss, feeds from Wagner Capital show SEC agents arrived. They're sealing off trading floor." Jake nodded, satisfied. "Right on schedule," said, turning Chloe. "I think that's your cue." Chloe stood, adjusting designer dress, wicked smile. "Time for you play betrayed wife in front of press. Hope you're ready for your role, Patty." "My role?" Patty asked, voice whisper. "The other woman," Chloe said, voice ice. "One who helped corrupt hedge fund manager rob clients, while also trying to fraud her own husband. Media will tear you apart." Cruel smile. Patty's face drained color. "You can't," Patty began. JC interrupted. "Can't what? Tell truth? Every email, text, meeting, all been documented. Your words, actions, decisions." "I'll need a lawyer," Patty said, voice weak. Jake's eyes narrowed, tone icy. "Better make it public defender," he replied, finality. "Your finances drained, remember? Astonishing how swiftly money disappears when you're trying manipulate system you don't understand. Security, escort Miss Freeland back penthouse. We need you leave as well, Miss Freeland." Patty gripped overnight bag, bracing herself. Bag once romantic getaway, ironic reminder how things spiraled. "This isn't over, Jake." "Oh, but it is." Pulled envelope jacket, handed her. "Keys to motel room. I've already paid for whole week. Think of it as my final gesture as your husband." "Do you really think I need your charity?" "I think you need understand exactly what you've just lost." Jake's voice cold, calculated. "Everything you tried take from me, I built. Business you thought easy, I made it thrive. Life you called boring, I stabilized." misplaced keys coffee table. Take them or leave them. Doesn't matter anymore. As security ushered Patty out, Chloe glanced watch. Press must be gathering downstairs by now. Eli, make sure those photos we discussed are already out there. On it, Eli replied, already sent anonymous tips, major financial blogs about Dan, Patty leaving building. Photos fuel tomorrow's scandal. Jake stood penthouse windows, watching Patty step street below. Reporters swarmed, flashing cameras. Tried shield herself, damage done. End day, face everywhere. Name synonymous fraud, conspiracy. You know, JC said, joining Jake window, they really should have Googled you before pulled this stunt. What do you mean? They should have found out you spent 2 years business school before opening shop. Realized you understood finance better than most bankers. Smirked. And figured out just being mechanic wasn't as simple as they thought. Jake turned away window. Let's finish this. Eli, make sure all evidence lands where it needs to. JC, finalize paperwork. Return shop to me. Don't worry about me. Chloe gathered things. I've got press conference prep for. I'll play grieving wife, strong in face betrayal. Maybe I'll shed tear or two for cameras. Rode down private elevator, heading next task. Lobby, Jake watched media frenzy intensify. Dan back police car, Patty frantically hailed cab. Need ride? JC asked, walking cars. No, Jake replied. I think I'll drive myself. I've got few stops make. First stop, lawyer's office. Divorce papers awaited signature. Bank, unfreeze accounts, reallocate assets. Finally, drove house. Built own hands, free 8 years lies. Sunset, pulled into driveway. Darkness began take hold. Noticed JC's bike parked street, Eli's car behind it. Inside, 2 men sprawled living room couch, pizza boxes coffee table, news TV. Hope you don't mind, JC said, handing Jake beer. Thought you might appreciate company while you watch everything fall apart on screen. Financial news outlets, breaking stories, Dan Wagner's arrest, footage let out office handcuffs, Chloe tearful interview shock, betrayal. Corner screen, reporters trailed Patty's taxi same motel Jake booked room. Toast, Eli said, raising bottle. Making sure no one ever screws you over again. No, Jake said, clinking bottles friends. Making sure they never forget why they shouldn't have tried. Outside, city lights began glow, ambition, costs. Somewhere, Patty alone, motel room, world crumbling. Dan facing first night bars, empire tatters. Plan collapsed, arrogance catalyst downfall. Surrounded loyal allies, Jake felt no need gloat. Success, justice, way speaking for itself. You know what best part is? JC asked, glancing news. They still don't know how you did it. Thought you were simple, never realizing depth what you were capable of. Jake nodded, staring screen. Exactly. Answer direct. Their critical error, he said, believing themselves be smartest people room. Arrogance, continued. Treacherous thing. Clouded reason. Eli, eyes flicking phone, broke moment update. Speaking blindness, Dean just texted. Patty reached out, looking for help. He hasn't answered. Good, Jake murmured, smirk barely forming. Let her experience what it means be abandoned. Let her feel exactly what she wanted from me. Universe waiting moment, television cut live broadcast Chloe's press conference. Played role precision, standing firm, unaffected, betrayals orchestrated. Not once reference Jake, hint connection scandal unraveling. Agreement. Name stay buried, revenge woven layers, financial collapse, personal treachery, invisible. What happens now? JC asked, tone quiet, expectant. For them? Jake took sip drink, savoring taste. Years courtrooms. SEC's case alone will stretch on for months. Exhaled, shedding last remnant battle. But for us, Monday it's back work. Dry chuckle. I've got engines rebuild, shop run, just a mechanic after all. JC laughed breath. Just a mechanic? Jake's expression darkened slightly, amusement fading sharper. Mechanic who understands real machinery play, one who knows when, how pull right levers. Night settled, thick weight victory. Watched plan unfold every news network. Press didn't dig deep enough, uncover true story. Man shadows, unassuming garage owner orchestrated downfall financial empire. World, just another saga, unchecked greed imploding. Room, among those new truth, sat architect. Man discarded, betrayed, left dead. Man not only survived, rewritten ending thoroughly, enemies never saw reversal coming. Just mechanic, perhaps, but one proven deadliest advantage wasn't money, status, influence. Overlooked by those too blind, see inevitable until far too late.